This is not a potato. No, it's life, and life as we know it. Moreover, it represents the force that drives us to grow. How? Well, let me take you into my story of lifespan psychology, and let me show you that the best has yet to come. For me, it all started 25 years ago. I had just finished university, earning my master's degrees in psychology. I was still young, my whole life ahead of me. My first job as a psychologist was at the palliative care unit, a place where life ends. I witnessed individuals saying their final goodbyes to their lives, their families, and their friends. Reflecting on that time, I learned that when faced with death, what truly matters is life and how you lived it. I saw individuals departing from life with anger, with regret, with unfulfilled dreams. Negative emotions clouded their final days, sometimes manifesting in intense agony. But I also saw individuals leaving life with gratitude, with satisfaction, with a sense of accomplishment. And even though still painful to say goodbye, they had a peaceful acceptance that life had come to an end. One memory stands out. An international book publisher spending his last week in our unit. He had been a widower for some time, but his 2 sons and their families visited him daily. Although they behaved a bit formally, it was quite clear that they shared a caring, loving bond. As a psychologist, I spent time with him, talking about his life and its approaching end. I tried to guide the conversation towards his final goodbyes to his loved ones, but he always redirected the conversation to his work. He had his sons bring in the books he was most proud of. They lay scattered around the room. And he just wanted me to sit with him, go through the books, and listen as he told me the stories behind each one. That was how he chose to say goodbye to life, by sharing what had given him pride, fulfillment, and purpose. From this, I learned how vital it is to live life on your own terms, in a way that is meaningful to you. This insight has become my guiding mission, both in my life and my work as a lifespan psychologist. As a professor of lifespan psychology, I'm interested in the patterns of change and stability across our lifespan. We are constantly evolving. No single period is all-determining. Each period has its own characteristics and its own growth opportunities. For example, the main psychological tasks in adolescence are centered around identity development, autonomy, relationships, and preparing for adult roles. This is a period full of new experiences and intense emotions, many of which we will remember for the rest of our lives. But of course, life isn't a scripted path. There's quite some things, quite some events, and quite some people that are crossing our path, ranging from Santa Claus to the love of your life, and perhaps even a demanding boss. Throughout our life, we are surrounded by various forces at play. What kind of forces are involved? Well, in lifespan psychology, we generally distinguish three kinds of forces. Firstly, the age-graded influences. They refer to the predictable events and experiences that are closely tied to specific ages or specific stages of development. These forces impact individuals roughly at the same ages, regardless of culture and environment. These influences can be biological, psychological, or sociocultural events that align with typical developmental milestones, such as getting your driver's license or entering higher education at the age of 18. These age-graded influences are strong around birth and early childhood, during adolescence, and then again later in life. But then they are somewhat different in their impact. In adolescence, these forces make us, in essence, to grow. Think at physical growth, increased physical strength, and sexual maturation. At the same time, the brain is developing, resulting in more cognitive and sophisticated abilities, such as problem solving and abstract thinking. While adolescence is intuitively associated with growth, old age is associated with loss and decline, such as decreased physical strength, slower cognitive processing, and problem issues. Yes, this is true. However, it is just a part of the story of getting older. Getting older brings you also several psychological benefits, such as emotional stability. You know better who you are and what you need to feel good. Increased wisdom, which comes with a wealth of experience. Many older adults report higher levels of life satisfaction and a greater sense of purpose as they prioritize fulfilling relationships and meaningful activities over material success. So, we need to shift our focus from decline to growth. We need to emphasize the good things that come with getting older. It's about taking a different, a positive perspective. It's about seeing aging in a way that truly honors the unique qualities that come with this phase of life. In addition to these age-graded influences, we distinguish the history-graded influences. They refer to events and conditions that affect entire cohorts of individuals in the same manner and typically within a specific time period. For example, somebody who grew up in the period after World War II has a completely different set of experiences compared to somebody who's growing up in this technology-driven world of today. Mind you, these history-graded influences are at the strongest at the phase of adolescence. And that is why we tend to remember the experiences from our adolescence more than those from any other time in our life. For example, the music of our teen years tend to stick with us and evoke strong memories and intense emotions if we hear it again, even years later. For older adults, this music evokes nostalgia, comes with a bittersweet yearning of the past. Things were better when I was younger. At the same time, it brings about a sense of continuity and a feeling of youthful empowerment. Thirdly, and lastly, we distinguish the unique influences. They refer to the unexpected and atypical events that occur during our life. These are unique to each individual. They may include self-initiated, intentional events, such as career coaching, or deliberate choices, such as moving abroad. And they also include the unforeseen life events. Negative ones, such as losing your job or getting ill, but also positive ones, such as inheriting a large amount of money of an aunt you never had before. These forces grow stronger as we go through life. So, how do we find our way amidst all these forces? How do we navigate through life? What drives us through life? Well, according to Carl Rogers, a psychologist of the last century, the answer to that question is simple, very simple. We all possess the need to grow, to achieve our potential. Every person strives to become an optimally functional human being. The striving is already present at birth, is ongoing, and is very powerful. You can think of it as a box of potatoes. Potatoes grow at their best in rich soil, but even when they are left in the cellar or in the pantry, sprouts are still growing. They take advantage of every small amount of light that comes available through the little holes in the wall or every time when the door opens. The environment is not fertile. In fact, it's quite challenging. But still, the potatoes are growing. Similarly, as a human being, we just can't stop growing. But the challenge is to find our fertile environment. So, the next question becomes, how do we create such a fertile environment? Well, growth can be seen as an active and intentional engagement in your own psychological development. And from research, we know that this engagement includes cognitive components, such as knowing that change is possible and believing that change is possible, as well as behavioral components, such as actually doing the things that are needed to change. So, in order to grow, reflect, plan, and go. What gives you energy? What gives you a sense of purpose? What drives you to come out of bed every morning again and to start the day? What if you took your phone and calmly reviewed the last 15 pictures on your phone? Imagine looking at each picture and asking yourself why you took it. What is in that picture that made it worthwhile to capture it? And as you go through these pictures, ask yourself, why are these pictures so valuable to me? I bet that a pattern will emerge, probably representing your values in life. If I were to scroll through the pictures on my phone, these values would stand out. Freedom. Riding my bike in a green surrounding gives me the ultimate feeling of freedom and autonomy. Relatedness. Feeling the team spirit when doing new, exciting things with the people I love. And self-care, in a desperate effort to look forever young. It is crucial to have insight in what's really important to you, your values in life. But simply knowing what's important to you does not bring change on its own. Acting according to these values is what makes them more present in your life. In practice, that's not always so easy. So it's a good strategy to plan and to start small. By starting small, you will experience success more quickly, which builds up your confidence and motivates you to keep on going. And through repetition, a new behavior will gradually become a habit. So in short, to grow, reflect, plan, and just go for it. Which brings me back to the place where it all started, the palliative care unit, where I found the seeds for this recipe of life. At the place where life ended, I learned that it makes just no sense to wish to stay forever young. Every phase in life comes with its own growth opportunities. So, explore strange new things. Seek out new experiences. Go boldly where you have not gone before. Trust your inner potato. And the best has yet to come.